Fruit, it gets a bad rap. Fruit is blamed for all kinds of things, all kinds of things. It gets blamed for diabetes. It gets blamed for candida. It gets blamed for chronic disease. What else? Chronic fatigue. It gets blamed for that. And it gets blamed for cancer. Now, fruit happens to be the #1 food on planet Earth for vitamin content. There's more vitamins in fruits than any other foods, including vegetables, okay? Fruits are the highest vitamin content. And many of you know I'm a believer. I believe in creation. And if you go back to the book of Genesis, what does it say? That God gave Adam and Eve, our first parents, fruit. Now, fruit is the perfect food for us. It's the food we were designed for because it completely satiates us. It's pleasing to the eye, pleasing to the tongue. It always tastes good if it's ripe, and you can't really eat too much of fruit because our satiation is determined by our brain. And when we eat foods with high vitamin content like this, we're getting the nutrients we need. We're getting the glucose that we need. So our brain says, you had enough, it's time to stop. So it's hard to overeat it. But I like Colin Campbell's quote, and sad to say, it's true. And he said, Dr. Colin Campbell, if you don't know him, he's the author of the China Study, a big leader in plant-based diet. And he has helped literally thousands, along with Dr. Esselstyn. They have helped tens and tens of thousands of people reverse heart disease and diabetes. How do they do it? With a low-fat vegan diet. It works. But Dr. Colin Campbell's quote is really quite enlightening. Well, I think everybody is starting to get the drift that the world is pretty corrupt. But he says much in life is governed by the golden rule. And the golden rule, he says, is he who has the gold makes the rules. So true. So the big industries that are preaching to people, you know, you can eat all the animal-based foods you want, and nothing, you know, can eat all the saturated fats you want, and you're not going to suffer the consequences. No, you're going to be a happy camper. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. If you're young, okay, if you're young, if you're under 50, let's say, you can get by with, I ate meat like crazy till I was 58. But eventually, it catches up with you. You're going to end up with cancer, diabetes, or heart disease, one of the big three, chronic fatigue, candida, things like that. And, you know, but fruit gets blamed for everything. Chronic fatigue, for instance. Chronic fatigue, you know, fruit gives us energy. Okay, so why would fruit give us chronic fatigue? Because if you are on a high-fat diet, constantly, you're always eating fats every day, too much fats every day, your pancreas cannot keep up with the insulin needed to get the sugar out of the bloodstream. And when your pancreas gets totally exhausted, totally exhausted, your adrenal glands kick in to give your pancreas a little boost to pump out more insulin. So if you stay on a high-fat diet, constant high-fat diet, your pancreas and your adrenals can no longer keep up. They are exhausted. And that's where chronic fatigue comes from. Exhausted pancreas and adrenals. And the problem too is that many people don't realize. They say, oh, I don't eat much fat. I eat an egg here, an egg there. I had a chicken breast. You know, chicken breast, isn't that, you know, really low in fat? No, it's not. It's not low in fat. And I had, you know, a small piece of steak for dinner. If you had that in one day, you are way over consuming saturated fats. Way over consuming. And that's why when we look around and we look at the health of people today, it's a sad situation. And they don't understand because they're eating according to what is being promoted. And remember, the ones that have the gold make the rules. So they're promoting all these saturated fats as, oh, they're super healthy for you. You can eat as much as you want. There's carnivore doctors now. And it's just, from the research I've done, and from the results that I have seen with people who have heart disease, have diabetes, have chronic fatigue, the results that I have seen, even depression, I've seen people with depression. When they start eating a lot of fruit, they come out of it. They come out of the depression. It's amazing what fruit can do for people. But it's sad, it's really sad that on the internet you'll see, you know, fruit causes cancer. Fruit causes candida. It's really sad. And I just want to go on record as saying that the reason we have such high levels of heart disease, diabetes, candida, cancer, is not because of fruit. It's because of too much saturated fats in the diet. And when I say too much, I'm talking about small amounts. It's not, for instance, I would recommend that you eat no more than, let's say, a half to a whole avocado every 2 or 3 days. That's enough fat for 2 or 3 days. Or if you want to make a nut dressing, you know, you want to blend some almonds with some citrus and garlic or dill or whatever, you know, 1.5 ounces of nuts. Maybe that's 20 almonds, something like that, I'm not sure. But the point is, it's small amounts. We're not designed for all of that saturated fat. Even though I know I have a lot of friends that eat meat, and I don't condemn them at all because it is allowed. It's allowed by God for people to eat meat. But the problem is when you overdo it, you suffer the consequences. Okay? It shouldn't be used so much. It's just used at every meal. So anyway, that's my thoughts about fruit, because fruit diet has helped me tremendously, and I know it can help many other people. But it takes some getting used to, because when you look at, you know, the situation where animal-based products, which are loaded with fat, became so big, you know, it's been promoted so much, the dairy and the meat industries, and it's been way overdone, let me put it that way. And man, these frogs, and we had a lot of rain here and the frogs are going crazy. But anyway, the saturated fats have been way overdone, and it's not a good thing. Okay, it's remember, small amounts of saturated fats. So going back to a low-fat diet, whether you're low-fat raw vegan or low-fat cooked vegan, you have to make it small amounts. And that is where I can help you, because I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm taking students now. If you're interested, I can coach you through this. It's not that difficult. And you will enjoy your food so much. Believe me, you will. You'll enjoy it. You will not feel deprived at all. You will be so happy that you did it. So I hope you realize that fruit's not the culprit. Okay, fruit is not the culprit. But we're never going to hear that fat's the culprit. Well, we have heard that from the vegan community, yes. But we don't hear it enough. We don't hear it in the spots where we really have to hear it. You know, this is the kind of thing that should be on front page CNN News. You know, that fruit is the best food on the planet. It's got the most vitamins. It's got the most vitality, and that's the food we need. And vegetables, of course, in small amounts of nuts, seeds, and avocados, the fatty vegetables, and fruits like durian, different things like that. So anyway, that's my little speech for the day, and I hope this makes sense. It's been out there for quite a while now. I mean, it's common knowledge that diabetes is caused by too much saturated fat. Candida, same thing, too much saturated fat. Cancer, fruit does not feed cancer, but too much saturated fats do feed cancer because they cause congestion and acids. And it's a known fact that cancer cells feed off acids in the body. But when you eat fruit, you are alkalizing your body. So I strongly encourage you, do not be afraid of fruit. It's what we're designed for, and you will thrive on it. All the best, guys. Please give me a like, a thumbs up, and please, first time here, subscribe to the channel. All the best. Take care.